So we got the split screen here today to demonstrate a common mistake that I'll see with deadlifting or RDLs. This mistake leads to a lot of pain behind the knee and the hamstring areas, as well as pain in the low back. So what you'll see on the split screen here is on the left, when I'm picking the kettlebell up off the ground, you'll see that the knees extend back as the weight lifts up. And then same thing with the RDL on the right is you'll see as you lower the weight down, the knees extend backwards or straighten as the hips go backwards. Now the population that I find this most commonly occurring with is those who have really flexible hamstrings. Reason for that is a lot of times they're just searching for tension to help them complete the lift or help them lift the weight from the ground. So on the left hand side, see how as I lower the PVC pipe down my shins, at some point in time, I'll extend my knees backwards and straighten my thighs out, as opposed to the right side, which is done correctly, where the knees hold steady and the hips slide back. This is more of a gradual accumulation of tension in the hamstrings, as opposed to an abrupt accumulation of the hamstrings, such as pictured on the left. This creates two problems. One, it drives knee extension with hip flexion, which is going to place a ton of tension through the hamstrings dynamically, as if you're pulling a rubber band from both ends away from one another. So it's going to create a lot of tension dynamically in the hamstrings, which can irritate the hamstrings as well as put a little bit more tension into the low back. So the big key with this is the knees should hold steady as the hips slide back. You don't want to see the hips slide back and the knees straighten simultaneously. Now it doesn't matter if you're doing a stiff-legged RDL, a regular RDL, or a deadlift. The knee should hold steady as the hips slide back. Just the relative angle of the amount of knee bend is what changes with those exercises. And then 3, it causes the weight to drift away from your midline. You can see how the knees drift away from the kettlebell, which creates a longer lever arm for the low back, which places more stress at the low back as your hips move away from the implement. The kettlebell should stay nice and close to the shins. If you're driving the knees back, this creates the longer lever arm or the gap that you see between the kettlebell and the shins. So in summary, whether you're doing a deadlift, an RDL, or a stiff-legged RDL, or even a single-leg RDL, you want to see that the knee angle remains the same, or the amount of knee bend that you would like to do based upon the exercise that you're choosing. Keep that knee bend holding steady and slide the hips back so that there's a gradual accumulation of tension on the hamstrings, not an abrupt accumulation of tension on the hamstrings, which increases pain in the back of the knee or pain in the low back by increasing the lever arm. Now, if you're dealing with low back pain, knee pain, or hip pain, and you want this sort of attention to detail with your exercises, you can sign up for our online workouts. That link is down below in the description, as well as in the comment section, where you can get access to our pain-free workout programs, as well as access to me to give you this type of feedback on your form and technique.